Should be live on Morning Caroline. Should be live on YouTube and on Facebook. As usual, let's see if I can find everything. Very exciting day today. It's always exciting when there's a new Fairy Hugs release. If I'm going quiet, I'm typing, so I'm sorry about this. I wanted to go live in the Fairy Hugs store group and in the Fairy Stamper Hugs group, but I haven't got permission, unfortunately. Just share that into the groups. And then I can concentrate on you guys as you're jumping on. Hi Lona, hi Helen. Got quite a few good mornings from Helen. She's obviously very happy. Hi Emma. Change my profile. Oh, so many things you have to do on Facebook nowadays. Right. Put that away, get rid of that, and give you something to look at. Right, so what we're doing is we're looking at Fairy Hugs book collection. I'm calling it part 2. I think Create and Craft have called it or something, I don't know, fantasy book collection or something. I don't know what they've called it. But anyway, it's an extension really of the original book collection, and the original book collection was out in October 2021, would you believe? So that's, I don't know, about 14-15 months ago. So that's a long time ago, isn't it? But obviously everything that you see from this collection is going to work with the original collection, and also you're going to find other stamps, and I'll try and bring some in during this demo. It's going to be a long one, so I hope you got a copper and a notepad to make a list of what you might like. Hi Jackie, hi Joe, hi Kathleen. So without further ado, I don't normally do this, but I thought I'd actually take you through the stamps, and I've got pictures so you can see them a bit better than me just showing you the stamps, because obviously I've used my stamps. So we'll just pull some of these out, and I'll do it quite quickly, because obviously once you see them stamped you can actually see the detail, because these are obviously on the acetate, and it's not as detailed as it would be, hi Judy, when we actually stamp it. So very quickly, we've got the 21 new stamps or stamp sets. This is your book tree library, so obviously you can see you've got books on the branches there, and you've got an area right along the trunk where fairies like the one from Kira from last year, and also or the year before, Olivia can sit underneath, and we've also got some characters that can sit underneath as well. Then we've got this is Aubrey, and there's 2 fairies in this collection, and Aubrey has got book pages as her skirt, which is just brilliant, and she's obviously got her hand in the book, and she ought to really look as to where she's going, just in case she bumps into something like a tree. Then we've got the reading toads, so you've got right facing and left facing, and you've got 3 different sizes, and each of them has got an appropriate size book, and you've got the word read with this as well. So you've got backgrounds that you can create from these, and obviously you can perch the little toads on lots of things. Then we've got the journal butterflies, 4 butterflies with journal pages as wings, and you've got right facing, left facing, and you've got 4 different sizes there as well. And the wings are kind of doing slightly different things on some of them. So and they're really cool as extras. Then the second fairy, this is Polina, and she can sit on anything that you want her to sit on. There's lots of things like on the sunflower set from the coffee and tea collection. There's a little trunk, a little like tree trunk stool that she can sit on. She can sit on the piano bench from the music collection, but she can perch on lots and lots of things, including the lending trunks. So you've got tree trunks here, you've got 2 different sizes, and they've got books in the cutouts there. This is Pages in Time. So you've got quite an elaborate, almost medieval looking book there, which is open. You've got the stained glass windows, and then you've got the bookshelves, and you've got that kind of aged tree over the top of it. Oh, I got that twice. No wonder I counted 22, and there's 21. This is Teague, the dragon. There's 2 dragons in this set, and he's got a sack of books that he can be carrying. But obviously you can use the books separately. There's some really cool samples by Archangel and by Jess that have they've used lots of stacks of them. But you can also be carrying like stacks of teacups from the tea and coffee collection. He could be carrying the hedgehogs. He could be carrying any characters that you want him to carry. He could even be carrying fairy. You know, there's lots of things that he could be carrying. This is the Storyteller, and this has been quite well received by the sneak peeks that we've been doing. So it's like a book boat, which obviously is going to sink, but in Fairyland it doesn't, it floats. Maybe they're, I don't know, waterproof pages that they've got there. You've got 3 different types of hanging lanterns. Obviously you can use those separately, but yeah, it's really cool boat that. Then we've got the Enchanted Library. Obviously you've got a book with its pages open, and you've got a doorway into that, and there's a wonderful 3D sample and video that Bonnie's done with that one. These are our fun guys from this collection. Obviously you've got the Reading Toads, but then you've also got the Reading Hedgehogs. This is instead of dancing hedgehogs, I suppose, because we have lots of dancing animals in the collections. And you've got right and left facing, you've got lying down, you've got kind of, you know, reading. They've all got books. Yeah, they're really cool, and you can put them everywhere. This is one of my favourites. The detail on this is absolutely amazing. Don't worry, Sue, it's fine. I'm just going through all the stamps very quickly. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, Mystic Bookstore. So you can use this with the ladders or not. You don't have to. The detail, like I say, on this stamp is amazing, and you can't appreciate that from the acetate. Yeah, just stunning. But you can also use the ladders to work with some of the other stamps, and I know Archangel's done some things where she's done like I'll show you, she's gone like a walkway between the 2 lending trunks with it. It's yeah, really fun set. This is Grandpa Huxley, so he's a wise old dragon, and you can't really see, but he's got little reading glasses on the end of his nose. And the little dragon that's kind of nestled next to him, obviously his grandson, that's Kimber. And Kimber is available separately and has been for quite a long time. So I think that ties in nicely with some of the previous collections. This is the Book of Blooms, so an open book with some flowers growing out of it. Of course, no collection is complete without some dwellers. So we've got the Reading Dwellers here. So obviously our tiny little fairies, you've still got details on the skirts and in their hair and around their clothing, and they're all reading in different poses. And then we've got the Magnolia branch. So obviously the Magnolia branch can be used as your foliage to finish your card off, but it works really well as a standalone stamp anyway, and for backgrounds and things. Then there's a bunch of sentiments. Some are kind of tying in line with this, and we don't forget we've got the between pages from the original book collection, and we've also got the relaxed sentiment. We've also got wisdom begins with wonder, and also the what's called wisdom, and the once upon sentiment as well, and they're all going to be useful with the book theme. You've got you are a friend, everyone wishes they had, and that's quite a large sentiment, so that's really a focal point for you. Then you've got relax and enjoy the day. Now, I don't actually have that one, so that's not on any of my samples. I was expecting my stock today. I did get notification yesterday that it was coming today, but today I've got notification that it's not coming till Monday, which is really, really annoying, because it means I can't be packing orders at the weekend. So I'll get it on Monday, so I won't be able to send my orders out till Tuesday because the sorting offices close at midday on Monday. So I'm really sorry about that. It's beyond my control. I'll deal with them as quickly as I can. So anyway, relax and enjoy the day. And then we've got enjoy every day, enjoy life. So that was called enjoy life. Then we've got this is the new chapter. So chapter and books goes, doesn't it? Wishing you much joy and happiness as you begin a new chapter in your life. So that could be appropriate for weddings, retirement, new job, all that sort of thing. And then finally we've got the joy, sunshine and love. Friends, fill your life with joy, your soul with sunshine, and your heart with love. And you've got the mixed fonts on that. So that's all the 21 stamps that we've got. Very quickly, I'll run you through some samples. So I've got a tag here with T, carrying the books, Journal Butterfly, and that's the Enchanted Library. Another tag here with the Mystic Bookstore, and using the Fairy Dictionary there in the background from the previous release. And at the very top, that's your Book Tree Library hanging down there. Then we've got the Mystic Bookstore again, but we've got the hedgehogs featuring in this one, and I've also used the little ladders. You can see we've got the magnolia branch across the top, and just a little bit of the Pages in Time just coming in on the edge. I've showed this one already as well. We've got various Paulina. We've got Aubrey. Paulina's sitting on the little stump from the sunflower table. Got the Enchanted Bookstore. Got everybody's reading. You've got the reading toad, one of the reading hedgehogs. This is what I was talking to you about, the magnolia branch. So you can just have the magnolia branch on its own with the sentiment, and that makes a beautiful card. And that paper is from the Tumbleshine paper pad, which is one of my favourites. This is your storyteller, and this paper, both Jess, well, all of us actually, Jess, Archangel and myself have all picked this particular paper out of the Misty Whisk paper pad to because it kind of, it's like being in a cave, isn't it? And it fits that storyteller really, really well. In fact, the Misty Whisk is one of my favourite paper pads, along with Tumbleshine and Morning Willow. 3 of them that are my favourites this week. And at the top again, I've got the Book Tree Library. Paulina's sat on that there. Now that's part of those rocks, or inference of rocks, is part of the paper. And then we've got some of the reading dwellers as well, and the sentiment. Then we've got the Book Tree Library on its own with the Morning Willow paper, and a couple of the little reading toads reading. So this fit really nicely underneath. It's a bit like I don't know, the savannah kind of feel to it, hasn't it? Even though it's got trees. This is Grandpa Huxley, and I'm going to say Kimber, and the Pages in Time, and in the back there you've got the fairy poem, and you've got the relaxed sentiment, which I've split up from the previous collection. This is a paper from, I think this is Pollenwing actually, and that's your lending trunks with Paulina sat on the top, so she can perch on lots of things, and Aubrey's coming in to see her, and I've used the You Are sentiment with some of the reading dwellers. Now, you know I like my panel cards, my little A6 cards, and the Journal Butterflies are perfect for that. Just with the stencil at the back, you don't have to do any colouring in. And here's, I shared this one yesterday. You don't have to colour them in if you don't want to. This could be a background paper that you stamp on and you just mat and layer if you want to, if you don't want to do the inking yourself. So you can do really, really simple cards with it. And here we've got the Lending Trunks and Teague, and he's carrying one of the hedgehogs. And we've got the Magnolia branch at the top, and we've got the Book of Blooms at the bottom. And then here we've got, I think it's still going, isn't it? Joe's saying it's frozen for her. It should be okay. Just somebody tell me that it's okay and it's not my Wi-Fi. It should be okay. I'll carry on anyway. So journal butterflies. Oh, you've frozen also. Let's have a look. Let me just have a check. So you're on YouTube, aren't you? Oh, I don't want to listen to myself, thank you. Let's get rid of that. That's enough of that. So YouTube's a little bit behind. I don't know why YouTube's behind. That must be them. If it's all right on Facebook, then it must be them and not me, which is a little bit annoying. Sometimes it's good to have both running, isn't it? I normally comment on Facebook and run on YouTube. It is stuck. Let's just see if it can refresh it. Right, well, if it plays up, what I'll do is I'll download it and then load it onto YouTube separately. So we'll carry on as if we're all working, because otherwise it's going to be a bit boring for those that on Facebook, isn't it? So yeah, journal butterflies. Then we've got just another simple one here with the Book of Blooms and your new chapter. This is the one I shared today. This is another paper from Misty Whisk, which I absolutely love. I'm going to have a new paper pad now because I've used both of mine. You're going to get two of each. So you've got your Book Tree Library there and Aubrey, between pages from the previous collection, and we've got the Enjoy Life there, and some of the Reading Dwellers nestled in the branches at the bottom. Here we've got the Storyteller again, and Paulina's just perched on the edge there, and some of the Reading Dwellers are here, and I reckon what they're doing is that they're either practicing a play or they're just reading the same book, because it looks like they're kind of sat talking to each other, doesn't it? Again, using ones from the previous collection, I've got Grandpa Huxley and Kimber here, nestled behind underneath the Tree of Knowledge and the Wisdom Sentiment, and we've got to have a hedgehog and a toad, haven't we? Then we've got some of Bonnie's. I'll just flick you through because otherwise we'll never get a demo done, won't we? So Bonnie's done videos for some of these. This is the one that's 3D that she's done. There's definitely a video for that. I love the colours that she's used. I say the Mystic Bookstore, the detail is absolutely incredible. She's done some kind of interesting shaped cards here. Bonnie's samples won't be at the studio. They'll just be from myself, Jess and Art Angel, because of time scales this time. I love that one, and that's that beautiful paper again from the Misty Whisk paper pad, and I love the way that Bonnie's coloured the magnolia branches. This is a video that's definitely on the Fairy Hugs YouTube channel. because I watched this yesterday, so you can see she does a lot of masking. It's a really good tutorial. Then we've got some samples from Jess here. I'll just quickly go through them. It's nice to see them properly, and you can always freeze the video if you want to have a really good look at some point. I love that one. Blue's my favourite colour, I think. Look at this. Lots and lots of books there, Teague's books. And the Tumble Shine paper pad works really well. These are some of Archangel's samples. She does absolutely loads. There's that paper again from Misty Whisk. Works really well. I think that one's from Morning Willow. There's that paper that we've all used from the Misty Whisk with the Storyteller. That's a lot of books that Teague's carrying there. Look, the little ladder there for the hedgehog to try and get a book down. It's just wonderful, isn't it? And this is inspired, having just the top of the Mystic Bookstore upside down with the hedgehogs playing on it. It's almost like a playground, isn't it? Again, lots and lots of books from Teague's, you know, and obviously the hedgehogs replenishing that pile. They're really cool, aren't they? Really fantastic samples. And this one using the little ladders across from the trunks there. The one on the left at the top looks like he's about to saw something with that one. I don't know what he's going to do with that. Making a step ladder there. Lots of things that you can do with them. Really, really cool. Again, there's that paper that we like, and there's kind of kinetic type card there. So those are a very quick run through some of the samples. So let's do some demos. Difficult to decide which one to do first though. Should we let's grab this one. This is the one I pulled out first. So we do this one first. So taking a bit of I've got a plan, but it might not work out that way. Taking a bit of a diversion from my favourite paper pads. I've used Molten Ridge. Now Molten Ridge is quite interesting paper pad. As always with Fairy Hugs, we've got 6x6, 24 double-sided sheets, 24 designs, 2 of each, because obviously 12 unique sheets, and they're 216 GSM. They're all that way. They're all that weight. And they're kind of semi-coated, which means that it's a lot easier for you to actually stamp with. And let's get my big paste over here, so I can put that there. Yeah, so it's very forgiving with your stamping, but I mean, I'd still use a stamping platform if you can. But very, very cool designs. They're more alcohol ink kind of based designs, so some of them are a little bit fluid. But I think this is going to work really well, and I think some of them would work really well with the like that one would work really well with the Storyteller, which is the boat. So that's Molten Ridge. All of the paper pads are currently in stock on my website. I've only got one of the Misty Whisk left at the moment, but I have got some more on order, so I'm just waiting for confirmation from Fairy Hugs HQ that I'm going to get everything I ordered, and then all of the restocks I will add the stock on as soon as I've got that confirmation. So what did I pull out? Where's my stamps? There we are. So we've got the plan. So what I thought we'd do is put the book tree library, and I think we'll put it over here on the top of that hill there. Then we're going to have Aubrey, and she's going to be coming in down the hill there. Okay. And I think what we might have is one of the lending trunks. Now the lending trunks, they come obviously in a sheet like that, but so I can figure out where I want things, I've just cut my sheet in half. Same set. I haven't cut the stamp, but you know, it works. So I might have one of these down here, and I might put Paulina sat on there like that, so she's reading at the bottom, and then I'll put a sentiment here. That's the plan. Whether I go off piste or not is entirely different. So It's always good to have a plan, and then you can deviate from it. And this is one of those papers that's got kind of a texture going on in it, but it's all completely flat. So I think we'll have it. Don't want it to move. You don't have to have the whole thing on, but I do want to try and get the whole thing on, because it's nice to see the whole stamp. Let's have it there in that dip. See, we could have a little toad in here as well. See, I might bring some toads in. I'll put them somewhere. I don't know where I'll put them. I'll dig them out in a minute. Right. Song by Bread Aubrey was a name in my head now. Oh, I don't know that one. Don't know that one. Sorry. Right, pick it up. I'm making sure that it's really stuck into that side, because it is a very detailed stamp, like most of them. And I'll make sure I stamp it well. So I think we go to Pinecone, which is a dark brown. So I always use a Juicy ink pad. I have all of them in stock at the moment, except for Twilight. I'm out of stock of Twilight. I need to get some more. Twilight's the very dark blue. But I have all the other blues. Sometimes I think Twilight's a bit too dark. Sometimes it just looks black. Some of the browns look black as well on the screen. Give it a good ink in. Alright. Give it a good push. I've got about 5 projects to get through, and I know we've been going a long time, but I wanted to show you the stamps, and I wanted to show you some samples, because when the samples go to the studios, then they don't always get shown. So do make sure that you join on Facebook this Fairy Hugs store group. There's always also Fairy Stamp Hugs, and all of the design team samples get shown in there. We do have a social design team as well, so their projects don't go to TV. Oh, look at that. That looks absolutely brilliant. I might go a little bit more, just because that's a little bit light at the top. I think I need to get a new ink pad, because this has been going since September 21. So I think I need to stop being tight and get myself a new ink pad. So we'll just make sure that's pushed up against the side and hope that it didn't move. Give it a good old press so we get all the details of those books. And it's up to you as to whether you colour them in or not. You don't have to. There we go, that's darker. Look at that. Incredible detail. Let's give that a little wipe. Not a proper wipe, but a little wipe. And where's my book? Put it back again. I don't use all the bits. So that's your book tree library. Then we're going to have Aubrey coming in. Make sure that's over there. She's going to come in here, like so. Walking towards the library, trying to finish the last few pages so she can get another book out, because she's only allowed one book out at a time. Bit mean. And I think what we'll do is, because we want to know where Aubrey's going to, Polina's going to sit, we take the acetate and we'll have one of these lending trunks. Because we're going to mask her off so that we keep all her nice skirt. So let's see. So we use the acetate, we can figure out where we want things. So her leg's going to go about there, like that. So then we can take, I'm going to take Polina, and we stamp her first because she's going to be masked. So we can, because she's dirty. It's easier when your stamps are dirty, you can't see where you're going when they're clean. Then we can pick them both up. Take away the acetates. And I'm going to stamp those in black, which is your Nocturne. Let's have another magnet there, and another one there. Oh, can't have one there, but I can have one down there. Fa, 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 fa. Yes. Make sure it's right into the corner. Just re-ink this, so it should be okay. Fortunately, there's no re-inkers left, and can't get any more at the moment. Keep an eye out though. Is everybody still alright? Gone really quiet. Hopefully we're not frozen on Facebook as well. Just pay a bit of attention to them, because it's easier than stamping it again. You'll get to know where the detail is and where you need to press a bit harder. I am going to go again though, just because I want them dark. They are pretty good. I have to admit, they're really good. And I'm always quite scared about doing them a second time, just in case. But we're right into the corner. It's quite a dark paper. Okay, good. Okay, so you lose a bit of detail in the second stamping because they've gone a bit thick, but it's fine. I'd rather be able to have them dark. And then we'll do the trunk. In fact, what we'll do first, I think, is we will do some other detail, because this is quite wet, and when you put a mask on wet ink, it doesn't want to stick, and also you get the ink on the mask itself. When I'm doing it normally, what I do is, and I want a mask, I'd put this project to one side and do something else, and then come back to this, so I know it's nice and dry. Bit distracting. Judy's saying she's working at the same time. It's a bit distracting, isn't it, listening to somebody and trying to work? I always find it takes me a lot longer to get my work done when I'm listening. Right, so we're going to have a sentiment here. So obviously there's lots of new sentiments that we've got. I might use one of the old ones actually on this one. I like the Wisdom one. I also like the Once Upon. Let's use Wisdom. This one's quite cool, because what we can do is we could perch. This one needs a clean. It's not going to stick very well. Because it's quite bold, it's going to show up quite well on this paper, I think. Yeah, you can perch some of the little fairies on it as well, because it's quite a solid design. Let's stamp this first. Black again. Nocturne. I use this one so much. Nice bold sentiment. Fits on the paper really well. And then we're bringing some other creatures just to fill in some of the gaps before we do the blending trunk. That's that. And where's my... Have I pulled them out? I bet you have. See, Paulina she could be sat on the toadstool as well. Let's take that off the acetate. This is one of the older stamps. This is number 24. So obviously you can mask her off and then you can bring in the toadstool and she could be sat on there. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Loads of things they can sit on. And of course you could put a toad on the toadstool, couldn't you? Where's my toads? Here's my reading toads. Or we could bring in the dwellers. Oh, fa. So you could have a toad here. Toad there. Let's have a toad because they're funny. Let's have a toad just there. So you have to do the toad first and then the book. We probably ought to have the toad in green, hadn't we? It's going to jar a bit having him in green. I don't want him in green. I'm going to do him in brown. I'm going to do him in the acorn. I don't want him in green. Because green's definitely not going to go with the colours I've got on this. That's the thing with stamping, isn't it? You can do things whatever colour you want to. I'm going to do him again though. In fact, I might swap into black. Yes, let's do him in black. Because we've got this very solid line of this background paper. That's better. You can see him better now. And then we've got to give him a book, which is a bit fiddly. And he's got a book. The books next to them are the ones that are appropriate sizes. So let's give a little book in his hand. Get off me. 3 days later. This is the most fiddly thing. So this is where you want to use an acrylic block sometimes as well instead of your stamping platform. In fact, I might do that because he's getting on my nerves. I'll give him a black book. There you go. Black book in his hands, sat underneath the book tree library. Yeah, I think lots of people are having trouble with YouTube. It is, I don't know why it's playing up. It's obviously not me because it's fine on Facebook. But don't worry, I will download it and load it onto YouTube so it's there forever and it's easy to find later on. So now let's mask Paulina because this is the last thing we want to do on this particular one. So I've got a little piece of masking sheet here. And I haven't cut the whole thing out. I've just cut the bits that are relevant out because it's actually easier to handle if you leave solid bits. Obviously, if I wanted to do something here, then I'd have to cut the whole thing out. And I keep it on the backing sheet because you tend to be able to use your mask more if you do that. So it's a little bit fiddly. And you cut it slightly in, so it's slightly smaller than what you need. And then we're going to go with one of the trunks. So I'm going for the larger one. It doesn't really matter which one, but the smaller one has got the arms on it. and I don't want that, so on this particular occasion. So now we're going to put Polina on it, like so. Make sure it's pushed up to the corner, and we'll do this in a brown as well. That's seated. Obviously the stamp is sticky, so it picks it up again. And we do this in pine cone as well. Obviously we don't need to ink the whole thing. I mean, you can use your masks again and again. At some point you can't see where you're going because you've got so many stamped images over the top, or it stops being sticky because you've got it added on wet ink. But you don't have to be too fussy. And all the wispy bits on her wings, I don't cut those out either. Come on, up you come. I think that'll do actually. I'm good with that. Do toads tend to be brown? Learned something. Judy's saying toads tend to be brown, but you can get orange toads too. Don't quite get green ones, or are they frogs? The bright green ones, the poisonous ones. Right, that's Polina. Oh, Polina's got to have a mask off. Poke tool. Take this off. Now you can see that she's sat on the reading trunks. Oh, pick up the mask and keep that for next time, because I think we'll be using Polina again. That's our first one. Obviously it's not coloured in, and you could add one of the journal butterflies if you wanted to, but if you pop it onto, pop this onto a piece of black card. There's your first scene. It's cool, isn't it? Really easy to do, really easy to do. And the colouring in, I tend to colour in using my Sentimentally Yours watercolour blending brush pens, but you colour in with whatever you want to. I know Tanya uses Distress ink. So that's number one. So we'll do another one. Let's do this one next. So moving over to Shimmer Gust paper pad, and this is one of the papers that's actually on the Create and Craft shows today, and the shows are at 3 and 7 with Tanya, and same 6x6 24 double-sided sheets, 24 designs, 2 sheets of each, and 216 GSM. And this is one of the earlier paper pads, and the other paper pad that's on the show is called Winklebush. And like I say, I've got them all in stock on my website. So that's Shimmer Gust. So again, we've got a plan. I thought we'd use this one. I've not got a lot of Shimmer Gust left actually. I have had to buy another Tumble Shine because I've used all but 2 sheets in that one. So that's obviously my favourite. So the plan with this one is to do something similar to this one. Similar, not the same, but similar. But this time we're going to use the Fairy Dictionary, and the Fairy Dictionary is going to be stamped on this side here, like that. Then we're going to bring in the pages in time, and that's going to be over here like that. We're also going to have Grandpa Huxley, who's reading to Kimber, and he's going to come in and he's going to be overlapping that there like that. And then instead of a sentiment, we're going to use some journal butterflies around the top. So that's the plan. So we do have one. As always, there is always a plan. It doesn't always go that way, but there is always a plan. First thing we need to do is stamp the Fairy Dictionary. The Fairy Dictionary is from the first release of book Jean stamps, and I do have it in stock at the moment. I have restocked some of the, as I was saying earlier, I have restocked some of the stamps that I'm out of stock of, for like the Fairy Library, and some of the others. Olivia, she was out of stock, and Between Pages as well. I have restocked them, but I just need confirmation that the stock is coming, and then I will add it on. So for this, because I'm stamping VersaFine Clair on top of this, don't tend to use VersaFine Clair underneath, because sometimes I find that the VersaFine Clair kind of bleeds into itself and it drives me nuts. I don't want to use our oxide either, because sometimes when you stamp on top of oxide, you'll see that the black colour, or whatever colour ink you're using over the top, it changes depending on whether it's on top of the oxide or not, and that drives me nuts as well. So, and Distress ink doesn't give me enough detail, but it's only a background, so I'm going to use Archival. This is Watering Can Archival, and I'm not bothered whether it's a really good impression or not. Archival will stay in the stamps. You can see I've got orange Archival on here at some point. I'm not bothered. I was watching a Tim Holtz video the other day, and he was saying that Archival will reactivate Archival that's on your stamps. I'm not bothered about that. I've used all the colours on top of this after the orange, so I'm not bothered. Not bothered at all. Archival does dry very, very quickly. I might regret not having my stamping platform underneath, but for a bit of cushion, but I'm not bothered. Like I said, I'm not bothered because it's a background. I do want to make sure my fairy's up the right way, because you can read it. And we're just going down here like that. Give it a good press. Very, very detailed stamp. Obviously, if you want to get all the detail out, then use something like your VersaFine Clair. But you're not going to get all your detail with your Archival unless you use your stamping platform, which I'm not bothered about. I just want a background. There we go. Actually, that's very good. You can actually read it. Huggable, it says. It's a proper dictionary. Magic. Right, that's that. That's my fairy dictionary. I'll put that away in a bit. Happy having that one on the side there. And then we go into the stamping platform. Now, like before, because we're going to do Grandpa Huxley's going to sit in front of the Pages in Time, we want to mask him off and then stamp the Pages in Time afterwards. So what we want to do is, again, take the acetate, and so we figure out where we're going. I'll put that magnet back in a minute, like that. You can already see that it's going to be fab. Put that down a bit so you can see. And then we're going to take the acetate for Grandpa. Such a useful thing, having your acetate. And he's going to be probably sat in front of it like that. So I might bring that down a wee bit so we can get some more journal butterflies up there. You could have him in front of the Enchanted Library as well. Let's just pull this out so you can see. I'll leave that on the acetate though. So you could have him in front of that as well. You see how that would work? Oh, do I want to do that instead of the Pages in Time? Should we do that instead? Because we've already got one that's like that. So let's do it in front of the Enchanted Library. See, a plan, we're going off piece. We're going off piece. Let's do the Enchanted Library instead. There. So I've only used this one once. No, I've used it twice actually. I'm telling fibs. Right, so let's have the acetate for that one there, like that. And we'll have him just leaning against the steps, maybe like that. I think that'll work. Okay. So now we want to bring in Grandpa and put him on top of the acetate. Doesn't have to be 100% perfect. It's only, you're only guessing where you want things. Oh, that'd be a magnet. Take the Enchanted Library one back. Make sure we're really pushed up into the corner, because I mean, obviously Grandpa will probably need stamping twice because he is very detailed, and there's a lot of solid area. And I think what we'll do is let's have him as a green dragon. So let's go for Rainforest. I love his little glasses on the end of his nose. And little Kimber's just listening so intently to Grandpa. I bet he's reading something like a car manual. I bet he's not reading, oh, he might be reading Huckleberry Finn. I bet he's not reading manga. It'll be a Dragon Tale, won't it? It might be Lord of the Rings. Is it Lord of the Rings, or is it? It's one of the Hobbit ones, isn't it? Where the dragon is featured in the dwarves' caves. In fact, that looks good on its own, doesn't it? We are going to dress it up, but it does look good on its own. I am going to go again because it's quite, like I say, there's a lot of solid areas with this. Got no date on this, so I don't know when I open this one. It's unfortunate that they only do reinkers in the Nocturne. I don't know why. Because people end up buying new ink pads all the time, so why bother with a re-inker? Okay, hopefully that's good now. Yep. Give you a good look. Really detailed stamp. Again, you don't have to add colour if you don't want to. I will do, because I like to colour in the wings and just give a little bit of a corresponding colour to it. So yeah, I will do. At some point, it might not be. In fact, it'll probably be this weekend, seeing as I won't be packing orders. For those that you missed, my stock's not coming in until Monday. It was supposed to come in today. I was told yesterday it would come in today, but it's not coming in until Monday. I've changed it, which is really annoying. 50 Shades of Grey? You can't read 50 Shades of Grey with a young dragon, a young impressionable dragon. It's not a very good book anyway. Right, so let's just find, oh, put it back, and I've got his. I did trim this a little bit more than I needed to, so there's a bit that I've had to stick back on again. Again, I've not trimmed the right, so we're going to have, let's get the wings on. Oh, let's do this bit first. Get the wings on. that's the bit that I've redone there, but I think we're all right with this, hopefully. Puff the Magic Dragon. Yes, probably. Right, so we had it. So we were wanting to have him leaning against the door, didn't we? That's what we were doing. Something like that. It never goes back how you intend, because you know you always forget where you wanted it. So let's have it like that. And pop that one on there. Okay, that's straight-ish. We should be able to get that back in the corner, hopefully. Give it a good old push. And just check that that's, yes. What colour should we do the library? Do it in black. Let's do it in black. It might not be his nephew, it might be his friend, but because it said it's grandpa, it's his grandson anyway, isn't it? It's not his nephew, it's his grandson. Unless everybody calls him grandpa, whether they're old or young. I know the door's quite a challenge to stamp. There's so much detail in these stamps. I do quite like having the dictionary behind. You could stamp it again so that you had it twice. Sometimes it's just nice to have like a border. That's because of the mask there. Wherever the mask is, you need to give a little bit more attention. I hope it didn't move. Or should I just leave it like that? Do you know, I am a bit worried, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So I probably would go in again and get a bit more detail on the door. But having said that, you could give the impression of it being a worn door. Oh, that's not very good there. I'm going to have to go in again. I didn't pay attention to that bit there. So fingers crossed, people. Fingers crossed that we don't get a shunt. Just do that bit there and that bit there, maybe. Oh, it has. It shunted a little bit. How annoying. So I remember watching one of Tim Holtz's videos once, and he did some overstamping and it didn't work. So I'm quite happy that if it can happen for Tim Holtz, it can happen for anybody. I knew I should have left it, because I haven't managed to get that bit very well here. Let's peel this off and you'll see how he looks sat in front. There we go. He's sat in front there. It's not too bad, is it? Where's my bit of acetate? I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Can't see it because it's see-through. That way, that goes in there. So that's a bit of masking. And where's Grandpa's thing? There it is. And we've got the book library away. Enchanted Library, rather. Then we'll bring in the journal butterflies. have a couple. I have a big one and a big one and a little one. Do you have them like that? Something like that. Like down there, in the corner. It's easy to stamp. We'll do those in black as well. And again, I would add a bit of colour to this. Okay, journal butterflies. They remind me of the musical flutters from the music one. I suddenly thought, oh, did I put them upside down? No, they're all right. I did them right. And let's see if we can actually get sentiment down this left-hand side. Let's see if we can get this one on. This is called Once Upon. So obviously it says Once Upon a Time. Oh, it keeps moving. Looks okay to you, does it? Thank you, Christine. It isn't okay. It's not okay to me. That's all right. There's two sides to a piece of paper. Whereas I've re-inked, I probably wouldn't be able to use the other side. Right, so there we are. There's number 2. Let's bring out my Once Upon. So this is 130. So this is an existing design, which is in stock now. See, I normally have virtually all the catalogue in stock all the time. There's one or two of the Christmas ones that I don't have at the moment, because there's a lot, it takes a lot of space. So if we bring in our base of black card, once it's matted and layered and some colour added, but it is optional. I think they look lovely just in their monochrome as well. It just makes things pop a little bit if you add a little bit of colour to them. So that's our second one. Put that to one side as well. And just to show you, just to go off at a tangent slightly, so you can, a lot of them will fit onto tags. So for example, Grandpa Huxley, this is the largest but one tag. So you could fit him on there and pop a sentiment on there if you wanted to. So he's going to fit. Obviously these are Studio Light tags, which are few and far between, so you can't really find them anywhere. So you could, obviously this is going to fit, which is your Tree of Knowledge, which is from the previous collection. So that's going to fit nicely, is it? And I think the tags make fantastic presents. You know, if you're giving a book, or even if somebody doesn't read Popper books and they read, they've got Kindles, you know, you could give one of these with a voucher if you wanted to, or make it into a card. So you could have that, make a hill there and have a toad underneath. So they will mostly fit. And the just grab the Mystic Bookstore, which is here. definitely fits on the tag. There's your Mystic Bookstore on the tag. So I know I normally make tags, and I will see if I can make a little tag. But just to show you, they will fit with your tags as well. So let's do this one next. We do. It's only just over an hour, not too bad. So let's do this one. So as I said to you, we've all tended to go for this paper with the Storyteller. So we're going to use this now. But also in the Misty Whisk paper pad, there's this one. Where's my Misty Whisk? This is your Misty Whisk. So a lot of them have this sort of thing on the back, which is really, really usable, and lots of different colours. There's my favourite, and that one I've used all mine, because I used one in the previous release as well. So most of them have got like a plain background and then something with like a scene on the front. That one there is the one that I used here, and in fact it's that way up because I accidentally, and in fact it's when I did the one of the snail library things before Christmas, I accidentally stamped the fairy poem going down that way, as you can see there, you can see there on the wrong way. So yeah, I've got it that way up. But it doesn't really matter as far as that's concerned, because it looks like the light's coming in. So you can get away with it even if you make a mistake, so don't necessarily throw things away. But I thought we would try and use the Storyteller with this, and we'd do a scene that's similar but different to that. So let's see how we get on. So we're going to do a little bit of masking again, because we're going to use Polina again. So we do that first. So this doesn't move. Oh, it's so movie. Maybe my magnets are playing up. I need extra magnets. Right, so what we're going to do is get the Storyteller, and it, like I say, it comes with 3 different style of lamps, which you can hang off there, or you can have hanging from the cave if you want to, if you use the other paper that we've all used. Just take that off a minute. So the idea, I think, is we're going to have perhaps a boat. Let's see, should we have one there? We can have one there, and then we can have another one coming down here maybe, or over here, which is going to go off the page. But the one that Polina's going to sit on is going to be here. Where's Polina? Oh, my lovely. So she's going to be sat perched on the edge reading. So she's going to be hanging there with her legs dangling reading. I've been lazy and I haven't taken the other little bits off. So let's pick her up. No, we're not. I've got to put the stamp on there first, Julia. For heaven's sake. Getting a bit giddy. There she is. Okay. There's bits. Yeah, I like doing bookmarks. I've done Sue's saying that she gives, I give a bookmark if I buy someone a book. My daughter is quite big on BookTok, wherever that is. Something about books. It's like TikTok but books, and she's always got several books, proper books on the go, and I've given her loads of tags. Fortunately, I don't get my samples back anymore, so I'm missing quite a few tags. Right, let's give her a stamp first. Not sure whether that was Ed snoring or not. Ed's in the Ed's in there. That's Ed. See if we can get away without doing her twice. Yes, she's fine. There she is. She looks a bit weird, doesn't she? Because she's just floating in midair. But it'll be all right. Don't worry, it'll be all right. I think we do the second one first, just so she's got a few seconds to dry. And what we'll do is we'll turn this round that way, because I want to go off the page this way. And grab our storyteller. And perhaps have it I don't want it next to each other. I think I do want it offset like that. Remember, this is the second one, so it's going to be offset and it's going to be off the page. Into the corner and pick that up. And I'll decide if I still want it in black. Oh, let's do it. Lovely detail of the kind of, I think it's like newspaper, but it's back books, isn't it? So it's like book pages. So in fairyland it floats. In real life it wouldn't. Well, didn't you used to make paper boats? You did, didn't you? And then you put them in the stream and chase the stream to see how long they'd last before they sank. Oh, I bet they don't do it nowadays, the kids. That's good. I'd also go around the just the little water bits, just with a little bit of pen as well. So now we can turn this round and work the right way. I just turn it round so that I can butt into the corner, and then if I need to, I've got enough space. Right, let's mask off Helena again. Oh, not the camera, as always. Sorry about that. And then I'm going to bring in, let's get rid of those things. Bring in the acetate so that she's perching on the end. Like so. Let's put that there a second while we bring in this. Remember, it's got ink on it, so it's always a good idea to have acetate, whether it's a printed one or the other one underneath. Okay, pick that up. right into the corner, and then black again. Okay, and then we can peel her mask. So she's perched, reading there. Save this for another day. I always keep it in the same sleeve so I don't have to look for it. That's something I've learnt. I end up making so many masks again because I can't find them, because I keep them in a packet instead of keeping them in the packet of the stamp, which is a bit daft. And I like Bonnie's sample that she did. I'll pull that up and show you that one. You can see you can have the reading toads in there. You can also have, where's Jessie's one? That's Art Angels. She's got one of the hedgehogs and the fairy dwellers in there. Jess did do one as well. Oh, I haven't grabbed that one. She has shared it already, so you can find it on the Fairy Hub Store Facebook group. Right, so what we can do is we can have our thing, excuse me, our things hanging, our lamps. But first of all, we want to have a look at what else we want to have on here. So we'll be looking at the fairy dwellers, not the fairy dwellers, the reading dwellers. And like before, we will have this little lady just stood on the end, and we can have one up there maybe. That might hurt a bit. We can have one. We could have one hanging off the edge, but we can't. Oh, we could have one there. She could be sat there on the end there like that. Let's do that. You can position yours a bit better than me. I'm just trying to get the position and not standing up, which I should do really. Oh, get off. Right, that's that one. Remember, they've got wings, so it doesn't matter. This one can sit up there as well, if they wanted to. Or we can have this one lying down up there, like so. I don't want that one. Let's have this one. This one can be sat just in like that. So we've got a few of them hanging around. They're always really popular, the little dweller sets. I've got quite a few of them now. I'm going to do them in black as well because the boats are in black. I'll use that on my foot. I'm very quiet. Eddie's snoring. Bless him. Okay, so those are our little dwellers. They're all there, sat reading. Obviously, when you kind of colour their wings in, and they'll pop a little bit. But again, it's up to you. I want to kick you. Stop snoring. I'm not kicking him. I'm kicking the pod. In fact, fact, I'm not kicking it, I'm just nudging it. I want to be fair, so you know I'm not mistreating my cat. Right, so that's 5 of the 6 little dwellers on there, all sat reading. They're learning their parts for the play, because Paulina's, she's quite a strict director, and she likes to make sure that all the words are as they should be, and they can't kind of improvise at all. They have to. It's probably Shakespeare or something that they're doing. That's that. And then we can have probably get a nice big sentiment in here actually. There's the big one. Did I pull it out? There it is. There it is. I pulled so many stamps out that work with this. Oh, where's it gone? Where's my UR? I've got Enjoy Life. I wanted a big one then. I wanted a big sentiment. So, Fiona Butterflies. Right, we can't faff. We'll just use the one we're supposed to. Enjoy Life. Let's just have this in the centre. Like that. This is one of the new ones. I really know I pulled too many stamps out. That's the story. Oh, I was going to put thingy on as well. What we'll do is we have that there, and we'll also use one of the hangy bits. So I forgot about the hangy bits. So let's have. Again, these are a bit of a challenge because they want to stick to your fingers. I can't see where I'm going. To be honest, it doesn't matter too much because Pigma Micron pens are fabulous for just adding an extra little bit of a line if you miss it. Ugh, get off my finger. There we go. Yeah, the crab donuts were really delicious. They were very nice. I actually wanted, what did I want? I wanted a chowder. They did a chowder, but when I came to order, you know, it's like you look at a menu and you think, I did look at the donuts and I thought, no, I'd like a chowder. It might be nice because it was a bit of a chilly day. And so I ordered it. No, we haven't got that. All right then, I'll have donuts. Yes, they were very nice. Nathan's fish and chips was very nice as well. First Monday of half term though, so lots and lots of kids, which wasn't so good. Okay, so we've got our little things coming down, our little lamps, and we've got our sentiment. That's all good. Imagine YouTube's still down, so there's no comments from YouTube. Which is a bit annoying. I do love a good chowder. I had a chowder years and years and years and years ago on Pier 39 in San Francisco in sourdough bread. That's going back about 30 years. But it was very nice, and I will always remember it because it was so nice. It's where they take a sourdough loaf. It's like a round cottage loaf kind of thing, and they scoop. They slice the top off, and they scoop the inside out, and they put your cheddar inside. Very nice. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Get in my tummy. Right, so that's our Enjoy Life. And then just to finish this one off, we're going to put a bit of, we've got choices really. We could put flowers around the top, or you could take the Book Tree Library, and you can add some of those around the top, which is quite a nice thing to do. So should we do that? I was going to use the Magnolia branch, because we could bring that in as well around the top. That's quite nice. Let's do the Magnolia branch, because we've used the Book Tree Library already, haven't we? And you can see on where is it? You can see on that one around the top of that. That's, I've used the Book Tree Library around the top, so this one will be different. So let's use the Magnolia branch, and we will do it off of the. I'll do it on the platform, but freehand, if you see what I mean. So let's have it that way and grab a block. Let's have this block. And I think let's do it, because we've got purples in there, let's do it in a purple. Don't know which one I want to do. Do I want to do Monarch, or do I want to do Fantasia? That's the question. So Fantasia is that one, and Monarch is that one. So I think we're leaning towards Monarch, unless you want to go for a blue. So I could go for Paradise. No, that's the wrong blue. We could go for, I think that's what we're going for. We're going for Bluebell. See, I think we go for purple and then we go for blue. This is a lovely stamp. We'll come down here. And we'll follow the arc of the moon, or the sun. Moon, isn't it, probably? I think we'll have it like that. Clean up myself there. And then we'll have just one down there like that. Like so. Happy with that? I'm glad we went for the Magnolia branch. So we mat that onto a piece of black card again. Obviously we could go on to blue or whatever colour we want to, but I've done them all as black. So a bit of colour added to that, and that will be that one finished. So that's number 3. Not too bad. Let's see if we can get another 2 done in the 2 hours. We've got a little tag, and then we've got another scene to do. You could go, honestly, you could go forever with these. There's so much you can do. So let's just grab like the Enchanted Library, just going off piste a little bit. This isn't a project. So looking at some of the other stamps that we've got. Peking Tory from the Coffee and Tea collection. Let's just grab the acetate off of here. So this is your Enchanted Library. It could be Pages in Time. So Enchanted Library. So you could have Peking Tory. Oh, move that down a bit. You could have Peking Tory peeking over the top of the Enchanted Library. That's going to work. So think about what you've already purchased and think about what you might want to add when you place your orders. Obviously you can't get all these from Create and Craft, but you can get them from me. So this is Peking Alfred, so very similar thing. You could have him peeking over the top of that, or you could do him on Pages in Time. But obviously I'm just going to give you a few ideas. I don't want to spend too long, but you could also have, let's put that back a second. I'll get that again in a minute. Where's the trunks? You could also have the trunks. Let's take the smaller one. So vending trunks. This is Sheldon, and Sheldon was meant to sit on the little table, but he could be sat there like this. Here we go, look. There's one of the trunks with Sheldon on it. And you could take, and he could be reading one of those little books. Remember those little books that we've got here? You could put a little book in his hand. So cool. And then we've got this one here, which is your other trunk. And we've also got Anne-Marie. So Anne-Marie could be sat on top of that one there. And she could be reading a book, one of them little books. So they don't have to be having the coffee and tea. They could be reading books instead. So we forget about, I think we forget about all the stamps that we had before and how they can all work together, because obviously these Sheldon and Anne-Marie weren't from the book collection, the original book collection. They were from the music and the tea and coffees. But you can absolutely do that. Let's just pop these back on here. So those are the trunks. We've also got Takara here. He's one of the early, take this off because she's a bit dirty. She's one of the early fairies, so she's number 45. And she's designed to have little Flamo, who's, Flamo, or whatever his name is, one of the little sort of imps or pixies or something. He's supposed to fly down, but you could take, I can't take these off because they're all separate. So you could actually add some of the hedgehogs to her hands. You could put anything in her hands. You could put the flying owls, anything, but they're all going to go together. So that's Takara. What else have I got? Oh, I think I've just got sentiments here. Oh, there's also the I know I'm going off piste a bit, sorry. There's also we've got Polina, and there's also the piano bench. So you can have her, amongst other things, you could have Polina sat on the edge of the piano bench. So that's going to work too. I think Peony was the original fairy that was designed to sit on the piano bench, or Sheldon can sit on the piano bench as well, the dragon. So there's a few extra ideas to get your juices. Bluebell ink on the top. Yes, I used Bluebell ink on the Magnolia branch on the top of that, yes. So there's just a few ideas for you to kind of look at some of your other stamps. So if you buy some of these, get some of your older stamps out and see what you can mix and match with them, because they definitely will. And like I say, if you want any extras, you can add them to your basket when you shop from me. Right, let's put those back there and get on with our next project. So our next project, we're going back to Misty Whisk paper pad. So remember, it's this one, and we are going to use that one there. So on the back of that one is another one of these. They're all the same, but they're different kind of colourways. I just realised I've got a very dry throat, so I'm just going to grab a swig. Right. So once again, we've got a plan. Go back with that. So we've got Teague. He's going to be coming up the hill with some books, and he's going to be visiting the Mystic bookstore. He's either restocking the books for them, or he wants to return some of those that he's had for a few years and obviously get a book fine. And we're going to bring in perhaps a hedgehog down here, and we might bring in some reading dwellers as well if I can grab them. Yeah, we might bring in some reading dwellers, and we're going to bring in the Path of Knowledge as well from the previous release, because they all work together. No masking on this one, just straightforward stamping, hopefully. Right. I can't get any more of these page things for my... They don't seem to be doing them anymore, which is really annoying. Okay, so let's go into the corner. And we do the Mystic Bookstore. Absolutely incredible detail on this stamp. Let's add another couple of magnets because we can. Right, out of the way. That's all right, Pam, don't worry, you can always watch it back. We've been having trouble with YouTube, so it will take a while. I'll download the video to my iCloud and then pop it onto YouTube later. I don't know why it's been freezing up. Let's get the whole thing in, I think. I should be able to get the whole thing in. Yes. And put it on that hillock with the moon behind it. We're not going to use the ladders this time, but you absolutely can. As you can see on that sample there, I've used the ladders on that one. The ladders can be used on their own, as you'll see in Art Angels samples that I showed you earlier, or whichever ones they decide to show on the TV. And just to recap the shows, are at 3 and 7 today with Tanya. So what colour should we do? Let's do a dark blue. I'm not going to go for Twilight, I'm going to go for Medieval Blue, which is the next one up from Twilight. Twilight's the darkest blue, and Medieval Blue we're going to use. Which is still dark blue, but not as dark as Twilight. I think it would be nice because we've got blue there. Lots of tapping because there's lots of detail on this stamp. Make sure I'm right into that corner. the ink a chance. So this is, oh, do they? Okay, I'll have a look, Judy, because they weren't on the Crafts2 website when I went to order. Or I'll maybe give them a ring. You have the Misty Whisk, Pam. Yeah, the Misty Whisk is a fantastic paper pad. All the papers are really good, actually. But you know, you kind of have, and sometimes you have releases and you think that one works really well with this particular paper. I like the ones with the moons behind them, because it means you don't have to. Now look at this. Look at the detail on that stamp. Just give you a minute to appreciate that. All the books around the edges, the little dots. It's just absolutely stunning. In fact, the first time I stamped that, I took a photograph and sent it to the design team group and said, oh, I'm amazed at the detail of this. It's absolutely amazing. And they were worried that I'd taken a photograph because there was something wrong with the stamp. No, I'm taking a photograph because it's so lovely. Really, really beautiful stamp. So obviously if you wanted to do your ladders and things, then you can just add them in, you know, like that. But I'm not going to do ladders this time. I'm just having that on its own. Okay, so that's the Mystic Bookstore. So when you come to, so the stock goes live on my website tonight, juliaartscrafts.co.uk, so midnight tonight. If there's anything that goes out of stock, just click on the email when available button, and as soon as I have more stock, you'll get notified. Because obviously if you live in the UK and if you buy from me, then you're not paying import duties and the shipping costs. If you're outside the UK, or if you want to go and have a good look at sizes and things like that before they go live on my website, you can go to fairyhooks.com, and all the stamps are live and available now at fairyhooks.com. But obviously, if you're in the UK, you're better off buying from me because you don't have import charges and shipping charges and VAT and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so let's get Teague to come in. Oh, in fact, let's do our pathway first, actually. Let's do this. I'm not going to do any masking with this. I'm just going to bring the pathway. Oops, sorry, hit it again. I'm just going to, the Path of Knowledge, I'm just going to bring it in here. Now, you could use, you could mask, but, you know, it's not really worth it as far as I'm concerned on this one. You could also use things like the stone pathway or the wooden walkway if you want to do. Because we're in a book theme, that's why I'm using the Path of Knowledge. And I'm going to stay with the medieval blue. I think we do all of our stamping in blue on this one. I have got a blue piece, a black piece of card, but I think I might swap that for when I do actually stick it all together and bring in a dark blue instead. I don't know if I've inked enough. I don't think I have. Didn't go down far enough. Oh, I did. Get me. Did something right. So there's our Path of Knowledge going up to our Mystic Bookstore. That works really well, doesn't it? Really well. Really pleased with that. I'm glad I pulled some of my old stamps out as well. I think actually that the ladders that come with the Mystic Bookstore, I think they'd work really well with the original Fairy Library, which I haven't pulled out, probably because I'm waiting for my stock. As soon as I get confirmation, I'll add all the restock stock to my website as soon as I know what's coming. hopefully everything's in stock. So let's bring Teague in. So he's coming up the hill with his bounty of books. So we have to stamp them separately. Make sure that's butted into the corner. So I'm going to stick with that lovely medieval blue and use that for all of the stamping on this one. I think he's a bit of a fun dragon, this one. He's not a scary dragon. Neither is Grandpa Huxley. I think Grandpa Huxley is the sort of dragon that you want to give a bit of a hug to. Let's see how he's stamped. Oh. I think that's me. I can see that the ink's still there. The desk isn't the best, it's just a table rather than a desk. And of course I'm sitting in the middle, and that's where it kind of gives. That's better. Perfect. There's Teague. Now Teague can be carrying all sorts of things. I think that's just brilliant that they put the books separate. So yeah, he could be having a tray of drinks, absolutely. We've got so we've got the tea icons from Fairy Hugs. So he could be carrying a cup of tea. You could actually stack those books off. You can mask off the butterflies or snip the butterflies off if you wanted to, and he can be stacking, having a stack of books, a stack of teacups. He can also be carrying one of the hedgehogs. So I've got him down here. He's carrying one of the hedgehogs, look. So he could be doing that. Let's see where. There's another one of the hedgehogs. That's one of Jess's samples. Where's Teague? Yeah, you could be carrying a lot of books. That's one of Archangel's. He could be having a half stack of books. He can be carrying books and a reading dweller. He can be having a light hanging from his mouth so that the reading toad can actually see the book he's reading, and the books are separate there. So there's lots of things that you can do. You can have real fun with them, and you know, just have fun reading. Crafting should be fun, and I think these are lots of fun. So let's just use it as is, as it was intended. Yeah, definitely a toad. Yeah. And so we just nestle them underneath his chin there, so that he knows, so that he's got all his books, and he's making sure he's not going to lose any. so while we're stamping, we'll also add perhaps let's see, we can put a hedgehog up there. We could put hedgehog. I mean, on that one there, I actually cut the two hedgehogs out that are actually on the Mystic Bookstore itself by the ladders. I cut those out, and I also cut out the one at the bottom as well, because you kind of lose some of the detail if you're not careful. So if you, for instance, if I wanted to put him there, you'd be able to see all the books behind him, so it wouldn't be so good. But we could have one just here like that if we wanted to, and we could have one coming to see Teague because he wants to get at the books that he's got, because there's a volume of his favourite book series that he's been looking for, and the librarian has told him that Teague's got it. So obviously Teague's been hoarding books, hasn't he? So he's going to go and see if he can get that off Teague. So we've got 3 of the hedgehogs here, which means that we probably won't bring in the Reading Dwellers on this one, because I've filled things up quite nicely, and I don't think I need to bring in the fairies as well. But, you know, at a later date, I might well put some more hedgehogs in there, maybe. Or I might bring in the Reading Dwellers anyway. We'll have a look in a sec. Because I always faff. Always change my mind. Right, sticking with the blue. So we're even going to have blue hedgehogs this time. Not brown ones like I normally do. Okay, my stomach's wrong, excuse me. So looking good, looking good. The book's back. Like I say, I'm really pleased that the books are separate, because then it just makes that particular stamp set so much more versatile than doing it all for you. I mean, obviously, if it was done all for you, you'd only need to stamp once, but it's no great hardship, really. Hedgehogs. So there's 6. You get 6 hedgehogs in the set. I think this is gonna be like the dancing bees and all the dancing animals. This one's going to be the most popular, or one of the most popular. But I have ordered more of these than anything else, so you'll be all right. Don't panic. If you don't want to stay up till midnight, you're fine. So for those of you that missed it, my stock's not coming till Monday, because I don't know why. It was supposed to come today. I was informed that it would be here today, but then the courier has told me that it's not going to be here today, which is very disappointing. So let's have the Friends sentiment. Friends, fill your life with joy, your soul with sunshine, and your heart with love. And that's actually called Joy, Sunshine and Love. So let's have that. Yeah, my stock's coming on Monday. It goes on sale tonight. Yeah, just to recap, that all the stock, my stock, will go on my website tonight at midnight. So you can place your orders from tonight at midnight for the new collection. Everything that's not the new collection obviously is available now. Okay, but my stock's not coming in until Monday. So as soon as it comes in, I'll start packing. but because the post office, the sorting office where I drop my mail, shuts, they all shut at midday on Mondays, so I won't be able to pack it that quickly. In fact, UPS normally arrive about 1 o'clock, so that's after it's closed. So it'll be Tuesday when everything gets sent out. I mean, I'll pack it and put all the postage on Monday probably, and then Tuesday I'll post it. So I'm really sorry about the delay this time, completely out of my hands. It was supposed to be here today. Right, so we're going to have that sentiment there, like so. Let's just see if we can squeeze in some reading dwellers as well while we're at it. So we could perch one. We could perch one on there, like that. And we could perch one on this side. She could sit like that, maybe. I don't know, maybe put that one there, we'll see. Yeah, we'll have those three, right. We might lose a little bit of that one, but we'll see. Just to fill up the Mystic Library. Again, sticking with the bluebell. No, not bluebell, medieval blue, sorry. And it could be that sometimes customs check my my parcels, so it could be that it's been delayed in customs, and that could be why it could be totally out of the courier's hands. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Fortunately, the stock didn't arrive at Fairy Hugs HQ until Monday, and then of course they have to pack it as well. I'm just going to do the fairies a bit darker. I'm going to fetch that off. I'm happy with that. I'm just going to do the fairies a bit darker because as I thought, we're losing them a little bit because of all the lines on the bookstore. I thought that would be the case. There we are. They're darker now. Right, okay. So this is our next one. And like I say, I've got this on black at the moment. Let's move this out of the way. But I'll swap it to dark blue probably. And that's our fourth scene. Okay. And then we will just do a tiny little tag because I like tags. We'll do a tiny little tag, and then that will be it for today. So we've not done too badly, have we? Because I've been through all the stamps, all the samples, and we've done 4 scenes so far, and we do a little tag. So there is just, and I've given you loads of ideas of what will work together. So there is just loads you can do with this collection. Just having the time, isn't it, to have a play. And the design team I mean, Jessica's done loads and loads of samples, or Angel's done loads of samples. Obviously you'll get Tanya's demos today. I've no idea what Tanya's going to do. She hasn't shared that information, so she's obviously got a different style to me, which is wonderful. We've all got different styles. And do look out for, on YouTube, there's, I think it's just called, I'm saying Fairy Hugs Store. I think it just might be called Fairy Hugs now because it's had a name change. Have a look at their YouTube channel because Bonnie's done some YouTube videos with the new collection. and she also did a video which I shared on my email to my customers today, going through all of the stamps in the new collection as well. This is me on YouTube, which is where this video will go after I've downloaded it. And you'll also find Bonnie's videos and my videos will go onto the product pages for the ones we've used. So now we're going to use we're just going to do a little tiny tag with this book, Book of Blooms it's called. But in fact, what I thought I'd do first is take the read sentiment from the Reading Toads, and we're going to just take that off there a second, using this watering can archival. We're just going to do read a few times, going off the page as well. Okay, just do that a little bit in the background. This is one of the acrylic circles from Sentimentally Yours, which you will find on my website and Phil's Honeypot Craft website. And I think we'll go for the bigger of the books. We'll do some of these as well. Okay, so just a little bit of a background. And that's watering can archival. And the reason I'm doing this, if you missed, is that I don't like to stamp on top of oxide, because sometimes the colour changes when you fall off of the oxide. And also if you stamp with VersaFine Clair first, and it sometimes bleeds with VersaFine Clair on top, and that bugs me. So archival, it's weird because they're both permanent ink pads, so you'd think that they'd react, but they don't, which is weird. Right, so I'm just going to cut the Book of Blooms just there, like so. I think. And we're going to do this in VersaFine Clair. And I think, let's go for a purple. So I think we'll go for Monarch and see what it looks like. This is one of my oxide, Distress Oxide spray backgrounds, which you'll find there is a video on my YouTube channel that shows you how to do that. I've done it loads of times. It's my go-to background, inky background. I might decide I want to do black instead. In case, if it doesn't show up very much, I'll go black on top. Oh no, looks good, looks good. Quite like that. Let's go again, because it's on watercolour card. This is the Sentimentally Yours Super Smooth watercolour card, so it does suck up the ink. So what, I can't finish this one off yet because I want the Relax and Enjoy. I want that sentiment on here, I think, if it fits. But because I haven't got it yet, because for some reason I didn't get it, it must just be missed, and I'm waiting for my delivery, then I think that would be nice to just add that at the top there, if it fits. If it doesn't, I'll do something else. So there we are, just a very, very simple little tag to go in your books. Let's just hold it up. Really simple, and like I say, I'll put that sentiment up there if I can get it. If not, I'll put something else on. Okay, so that is your demos for today. We just recap what we've done. I'll just show them you. I won't go through everything I've used because you can just look back. So for those that missed the beginning, so we did this one to start with. It's the first one that we did. Then we did this one, which I might redo because it slipped a bit. Although you can't tell, I can tell. When I photograph it, you'll be able to tell as well. And we did this one with Grandpa Huxley. So there's the first two. Then we did this one with the storyteller. And then we did this one. And then we did this little bookmark, which is waiting for a sentiment. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and don't forget the products will go live on my website midnight tonight. That's Friday the 17th of February for shipping to UK addresses only. If anything goes out of stock, just click on that email when available button, and if things go out of stock, then I will be ordering again next week. That's what happens, okay? You can also get them from, if you're outside the UK, you can get them at fairyhugs.com, and they're all live now. Yes, Phil's on TV now if you want to watch Clay and Craft. And yes, so I hope you've enjoyed that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.